Still sinking, man. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. And the guy I emailed said he fixed everything. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you guys there. Hey, it's the guy who doesn't show his face on camera. How's it going? A while back, I told you guys that I would eventually tell you the story of the shenanigans that I had to deal with moving to Tennessee. And it's now June. I've been here since March. It's now June, and finally I have some free time to be able to get this video done. So, appreciate you guys hanging in. Appreciate you guys talking about it. Emailing me, Facebooking me, texting me, saying, what the fuck, when is this going to happen? And it's happening. It's here. So, let's go into the story. I'm going to do the best I can with trying to remember all the facts, because if I had filmed what I wanted to film the way I wanted to film it months ago, I think the video would be a lot funnier than it's going to be because time has passed. But let's go back to my thought process here. I had just come off, I had worked for Holiday Inn Club Vacations. This company bought out Silverleaf Resorts, which I had worked for since February of 2007. February 5th to be exact. Remember that date, that's going to come in handy in a few minutes. February 5th, 2007, I just graduated college. It took me 4.5 years because I failed one of my classes for coming late twice. The second time I came late, he flunked me, failed me, get out of my class. And the funny thing about that class is it literally, I had a class right next to that class, like right after that class with the same teacher. And I showed up on time, obviously, for that one. He loved me and actually told me later he felt bad that he only gave me literally 2 shots to come in on time. But as it stood, it didn't matter. I failed, so I had to take another semester to get the credits I needed. 1 class, though, so it was ridiculous. I think it was 2 or 3 classes, but one of which I really cared about. The other 2 I didn't give a shit about at all. And just la-di-da through the semester. But anyway, I knew ahead of time that I needed to move because the guy who took care, like the handyman of all the places we lived off campus, told me while everybody was on winter break, he literally told me and said, hey, look, try to find another place to live. These buildings are going to be condemned pretty soon, or something along those lines, or the woman who owns them, she's going to court. She has to kick everybody out. When all your friends come back, they're going to be screwed. I'm giving you the heads up. Now, the only reason he did that for me is because I actually, treated him nicely. Everyone else in that area, North Adams, Mass., everyone else treated him like he was a weirdo and this, that, and the other thing. But I was cool with him, so he gave me a heads up, which was cool. Because then I was able to get a heads up on that and then go immediately to find another place to live. Now, the guy who I rented from he still owns, is an awesome guy. His name is Sean Taylor. For those of you who live in the Berkshires, go check out his restaurant out in North Adams. It's called the Fright Yard Pub. It's fucking amazing. Get the steak tips with the rice peel off. I guarantee you, you won't have a better meal in your life. Okay, I ordered it every time I went in there. But anyway, he's a cool dude. He owns a lot of properties. He's a realtor, everything else. So I don't know how I got his number. I don't know how it happened, but I ended up calling him. He rented me the downstairs of the 2-family that he owned in North Adams, and I was living there out of college. And at the time, I had a job selling internet for Verizon inside of a Best Buy in Lanesboro, Massachusetts, when the Best Buy was at the Berkshire Mall still. But they were full time. But the problem with that is it was 3 days a week. They considered that full time for the company I worked for. I didn't work directly for Verizon. I worked for a company called MarketStar. MarketStar was hired by companies like Verizon or Whirlpool or whatever to sell their products inside of stores. So I was selling internet in Best Buy. And I had done really well. I was making decent money. But the problem was I'm on my own now. I still need another job. Like I needed to have another job to make more money and or a job that would allow me to work 5 days a week and not the weekends and still make the same amount, whatever the case was. Now this is back in 2006. Early 2007, but 2006 I graduated, late 2006, in the fall, in the winter semester. So around April I graduated of 06, and so I was free to do whatever, but I needed a job. I needed to pay rent, everything else. I'm on my own, everything like that. I saw an ad in the paper that said commissions, $350 a week guaranteed, plus commissions, blah, blah, blah. Call. Little ad in the paper. So I called up, and a guy by the name of Chris O'Brien answered the phone. Chris O'Brien worked for Silverleaf. I didn't know what timeshare was. I didn't know what any of that was. But I remember my mom telling her about it. She goes, oh, those are the scams we used to get in the mail, you know, the cards and everything else. You won $1 million. You won this, you won that. And she told me to throw them away. So that's what her knowledge of timeshare was, and she was really wary of me going into the industry because, you know, it's come a long way from what it used to be way back in the day, but that's besides the point. It's not the point of this video. But anyway, so I go in there, and at first I'm not doing too well there. Chris O'Brien was my trainer, still a friend to this day, one of the best trainers I've ever been around. I'd always been great at sales my whole life, working for that company, MarketStar. I'm not talking about sales. A lot of people think sales are like, oh, well, I'm just going to go in and I work at Sears and I'm a salesperson because I'm ringing you out for a pair of pants. No, that's not fucking sales, okay? Car sales, sales. Timeshare, definitely sales. What I was doing, going up cold call in the middle, not cold call, but cold to random people inside of Best Buy in the computer section and saying, hey, what internet provider do you have? That's sales. For them to look at me and say, get the fuck away from me. No. You gotta warm up with them, build rapport, the whole deal, and then get them into the deal. You know what I mean? So that's sales. Not, oh, I work at GameStop and I'm in sales at GameStop. No, that's not fucking sales. Okay? Now, you may have numbers that you need to hit. And if that's the case, where you're fired in GameStop, because I remember working for Funko Land way back in the day, we had to sell cleaning kits and we had to sell membership subscriptions to Game Informer. And we were tracked on those. We got commission on them, but we were tracked. If numbers were terrible, you lost your job. That's kind of sales. It's an easy sale. I mean, if somebody's going to spend $100 on games used, and they're going to save 10% every time they go for 6 months, and the membership cost $10, it was literally free. You just had to explain that they weren't paying for it. Or if they did pay for it, it'd be like $2 versus the $9.99, and they got magazines. It was a home run, depending on how you pitched it. There were some people that didn't give a shit, but I digress. Anyway, so I started out pretty terribly, and I was freaking out because I knew that timeshare was for me, but I wasn't doing well. And I think my first 2 months, I was on the borderline of getting fired. And if it wasn't for one change in myself as a person, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. I don't know what I'd be doing. But I changed something in myself. And a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh no, you're a liar now and you sell people cons and that's what you changed. No, not that. It was literally me not taking no for an answer. It was literally me not getting pushed around by people as far as, yeah, we're not buying this today. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I understand. That's fine. No, it's, you're going to do it. Here's why. This is what you told me earlier, that type of shift in mentality. Well, anyway, suffice to say, now I'm at Silverleaf, and I was able to get my numbers up, and the rest is history, as they say in that case. In 2007, February 5th is when my official first day was there. I was doing well enough that I quit MarketStar, and they were hated to lose me. They offered me some director's type of thing in New Hampshire. I wasn't moving to New Hampshire, and one of the questions I asked the company was, because they were under contract by these companies, like Verizon, for instance, signed this company, MarketStar, to a 2-year contract. And I said, what happens if the contract doesn't get renewed? Then what, am I stuck in New Hampshire for no reason? And they couldn't really give me an answer on that, so I kind of took that as yeah. And no answers means yes in this case. And so I said, yeah, I'm all set, and I stayed with Silverleaf. Thank God I did. Worked my way up through management, worked my way up to late 2011, senior manager, and then early 2012 moved to Illinois. Some of you guys know those videos from back then with Winnie and everything else from Illinois. So 2013 came back to Massachusetts. I had enough of Illinois, had enough of what I was dealing with out there. It's another story for another day. And worked my way up again to being one of the top managers in the company. Now, late 2015, we were bought by Holiday Inn Club Vacations. And let's put it this way. I don't know if my region part of the company is the only part of this company that was almost like a cult, but I can't say for sure. I'm sure the rest of the company is great. I'm sure that, other parts of sales were great, but I was in a position where I couldn't trust anything anybody said. And I don't mean like we were forced to lie to people. If anything, that was the exact opposite. You got fired for lying to people because they regularly did shops. They regularly made sure that everything was being followed to a T. And if you weren't, you were written up. Some people were immediately fired, literally that day. Hey, go home. We'll let you know if you still have your job, kind of a thing. Although HR made it seem like it was, you know, they did all the wording that they had to make, so it wasn't like you're fired, we'll call you, and under the investigation, you know, and all this garbage, and then that basically meant you were fired. For everybody that still was there, they knew that that person was done. But no, Holiday Inn Club Vacations, I can attest. Everything they said, it was highly regulated. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They loved that about their company. They didn't want anything like that to affect it. That's not what I mean. I mean, why are we doing X, Y, Z? And then the answer I would get would always be a circle. Why are you worried about X, Y, Z? Well, this is part of my pay plan, so how can I not figure it out? Well, if you focused more on your sales, then it will take care of itself and you won't ever have to figure it out. That kind of shit, right? So as an analytical person, that didn't sit well with me, okay, at all. But I dealt with it because I was doing well. If anything, I made more money under Holiday Inn Club Vacations than I had under Silverleaf. 2016, April of 2016, I quit. And a lot of you guys remember that, for those of you who have watched the channel for a long time, you remember the video I made when I said, I don't know if I'm going to be doing videos for a while, I don't know what's going on, I quit my job, blah, blah, blah. Well, there was probably a 2-week, no, that's an exaggeration, there's probably almost close to a week, Kurt courtship of me back to the company when they wanted to find out exactly what happened. I got calls from the VP. I got calls from the VP of sales, I should say. I got calls from the VP of training for the company, who I did training with them on my onboarding. I got calls from everybody. I got calls from people who didn't even work for the company that found out that I had left, trying to recruit me to go join their company. And I had already had something lined up with a guy by the name of Phil Constantino. Phil Constantino used to work for Silverleaf. He was an in-house director. He was an in-house manager for years, and had worked in Pennsylvania for a long time. And so I'd already joined him, but they got me back. They promised everything would be different, and for a while it was. At the end of 2016, I ended up winning the year for our track, for our resort there in Lee, Massachusetts, and I ended up going to Aruba. 2017, I got promoted over to the in-house division of our track, of our little group, and I won 2017. But I wasn't happy towards the end of 2017. I was making the same amount of money, but you ever go to work and you just hate life? You just hate it. All the stuff we had to do, all the stuff that they expected of us, having my questions not answered, having my questions being ridiculed by people who were below me in a different capacity. Like, I had a guy who I emailed who was in charge of accounting, or charge of numbers, like for statistics and everything, say, why don't you focus on your sales and you don't have to worry about this part of it. This is from a guy making 50 grand a year. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm trying to find out how I can make my money, and you're not telling me? It's like KFC's fucking recipe, nobody knows, 7 secret ingredients, or whatever the fuck they claim. It's one of those deals that I analogied, or whatever the case may be, and was very sarcastic and facetious about. But, and my boss, by the way, my boss, his name is John Gibbs. John Gibbs, one of the best bosses I've ever had in my life. The guy's awesome. Completely awesome. I had no problem with him. If anything, I respected him a hell of a lot more, because any type of boss that I've had in his position, you know, they twist around what you're asking to make it look like you're the fucking asshole no matter what, even if you could prove them wrong. He didn't do that. He gave me as much as he could straight up without telling me all the secrets. He gave me everything he could, to the extent of stuff where he wouldn't state something, he just nods so I knew the answer, that type of thing. But I respected him a lot for it, because he was actually real with me. One of the best bosses I've ever had in my life. But anyway, I'm at an awards dinner, and one of the regional VPs of our company was there handing out the awards and completely forgot to give me one. And that's not the reason I just had flipped out and just immediately quit. That's not what happened. But I can assure you this, I wasn't happy with it, and they made a big joke out of it. He remembered to tell everyone that the guy he brought with him to the awards dinner was nominated for an award, but he completely forgot about the only guy who won an award at that dinner from that specific site where we had our quarterly dinners. Completely forgot. Meanwhile, this is the same guy who who kept asking every single week, okay, what's going on with the hiring process? Why aren't we getting more people? Now, I, mind you, had already tried to hire 3 or 4 people. And the only person who was able to hire those specific people, magically was sick for like 3 weeks. And every time he would come down, I'd say, Roger, you keep asking this question. What about all the people I keep telling you I've tried to hire and nobody's given me the answer yet? What about that? Oh, I'll have to look into it. And then the next week it'd be like he completely forgot our fucking conversation. That didn't sit well with me. Then we were, one of my, John, my boss, trying to hire people. And then my boss comes back, John, he comes back from a director's summit where they go over, everybody in the region goes over what's to take place for the following year. We had a hiring freeze for all of 2017. We couldn't hire anybody. And all the people they promised to bring us, they didn't. And we had hired a bunch of people who ended up quitting because they weren't able to talk to anybody. In sales, that's like, if you can't talk to anybody, what are you doing? You're working for nothing. So they hired the hired freeze, because all of a sudden now all the tours, all the people we were going to talk to, all of a sudden magically came. So now we're overrun with 1 million people. We have nobody to talk, nobody to talk to them. And we were told that we were going to have to then go to the bathroom. Luna's right next to me. We were told that we were going to have to go and talk to those people as managers. And I said to my boss, I said, okay, well, hold on a minute. If we're going to talk to these people, then who's going to help all the other people that are below us? There's nobody left. And I couldn't get an answer. So at that point, I said to myself, okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. I have been successful for this company for 2 years. They call themselves the New York Yankees of the industry, because everybody plays by the same set of rules, and if you don't play by those same set of rules, you're done. Okay? You're not for them. You're not their type of fit. But I had to. I do things a little bit differently, but did everything the same, got the job done, got the results there, and again, 2 trips, one to Aruba for being top in 2016, one to Mexico, being top in 2017. Some of you guys saw the videos in Mexico. So at the time, when Holiday Inn first bought our company in late 2015, I had actually gone down to Gatlinburg. A lot of you guys remember the videos I did with CJ for scratch tickets down here. And what happened was, in 2015, when we went down there to train in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, I met my now future boss, but now current boss, but my future boss back then, who I didn't know was going to be my future boss. He was the director down there in Gatlinburg. Now, he left the company in early 2016, but I had reached out to him early 2018, this year, and I said, hey, look, what's going on? Do you have anything going on for me down there? He goes, yeah, what's going on with you? And I told him what was going on, and he said, okay, look, I'm going to do this for you, this for you, this for you, this for you, but you got to make a move right now. Now, I'm very cautious when I do things, very, very cautious. I don't really jump the gun on things, but I took a look at what was going on in my life where I was. I took a look not only at the job and who I was working for, but I took a look at the area I was living in. For those of you who still live in the Berkshires, you know as well as I do, it's rough out there. The mall's pretty much gone. So now if anybody wants to go to a mall, they have to drive 45 minutes in either direction, either to Hartford, Connecticut, or Albany and Colony, New York. There's nothing going on. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing. The biggest thing was opening a Five Guys 6 years ago. That was like the biggest, hold the presses. 6 years ago was opening a Five Guys. That's the type of place I was living in, plus all the gang violence that's going on now, and the drugs that are going on now, along with the fact that it's the Northeast and the winters suck. They fucking suck. So I make the move. Call my boss, tell him what's going on. He didn't want to lose me. He immediately said, look, you got to do what you got to do. I respect him for that. And then, of course, the same courtship I had 2 years prior, I had again. This time it wasn't that big of a courtship because they were like, oh, he's quitting again. Okay, here we go, one of those deals. Maybe we'll talk him back into staying. It wasn't going to happen. To the point where I had a 2.5-hour conversation with the vice president of sales for our region, and it was just a battle of wits, literally on the phone. It was a battle of intelligence on the phone. He would say one thing, I'd call him out on it, he wouldn't have an answer, and then he'd twist it around and make it look like one of those things where, look, if you had the super salad situation right at a restaurant, well, why didn't you choose the soup? Well, I didn't think I would like the soup. Well, why do you set yourself so short if you don't like the soup? You could have liked the soup, now you're never going to know. Well, had I liked the soup, had I ordered the soup and not liked the soup, and I was pissed and I should have ordered the salad, you would say the same thing. Why didn't you order the salad? You know that you like the salad. Why did you try for the soup? So no matter what answer I gave, there was always the other side of the coin that he was going to state was the truth. But had I gone through that side of the coin that he stated was the truth, he would have said the other side. So I was quickly a literally circle of nothing that was going on for 2.5 hours. And without saying it, stated basically that I would not be welcome back to the company because I was quitting. And I was letting a lot of people down. But that's business, as they say. So I come down to Florida, or up, or whatever you want to call geography, I don't give a fuck. But I go to Orlando. I train in Orlando with the new company I work for now. And love the company, love everything about the company. One of the best moves I've ever made as far as my work is concerned, my job, my livelihood is concerned. Making the same amount of money I was in Massachusetts, if not more, potentially more, 90% less work. One of the dreams that everyone in America has. Imagine if you could do the same thing you're doing now, but you don't have to put as much in, but you have the ability to make the same amount. Everybody's had that daydream once in their life, no matter what job you do. Man, if I worked at McDonald's and I was an assistant manager and I have to deal with 900 people, imagine if I could go to a location where it's dead and I'd still make the same amount of money no matter what. I'm making $100,000 here and we've got to serve 7 million people. I'm making $100,000 here and we've got to serve 7 people. Want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. I love you, girl. I know. I know. So, anyway, I go down to Orlando, I train, and in Orlando, this is while we're getting to the shenanigans that I had to deal with. In Orlando, and if some of you guys remember the video I made, it was a short video. I didn't really get into why I left what I did or why I was moving, but here we go. Here's the full story, VH1 behind the music type of situation. So I'm down there and I say to myself, okay, I have to sell the goal is to sell my house in Pittsfield. Because if I sell my house in Pittsfield, it was pretty much paid off. If I sell my house in Pittsfield, I can take that money, put down on a house here in Tennessee, and pay off debt, pay off this, pay off that, stuff like that, have a ton of money in the bank. So that was the goal. The first goal, though, I had to know that God forbid I couldn't sell my house. I already had somebody that was going to rent it. But God forbid I couldn't sell it. Could I get approved for a third mortgage? I have a house in North Adams, the first house I ever built. First house I ever bought. Is being rented out by people who have been renting for me for like 3 or 4 years. Great couple that pay every month, every time, no problems. So I have a mortgage on that. I had a home equity loan out on the house in Pittsfield for some stuff that I had to fix, you know, like the deck and bathrooms and whatever. So I had that, but other than that, that was it. And then and could I get a third mortgage? So I called, I forget who I called. I don't know who it was, what company it was. But they literally told me, hey, look, you're moving to another state. You already have 2 mortgages now, but you're moving to another state, and your income's fine. But you're going to have a brand new income. You're starting from 0 when you move. We can't count the income you made in another state. So literally, it's not going to work out. It's just not going to happen because your income fluctuates. You work on commission, stuff like that. It's going to fluctuate. We can't take that risk. I said, okay, fine. So then I call Quicken Loans. Quicken fucking Loans. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. Some of you have heard the commercials and they're thinking, oh, well, I thought they were amazing. And some of you are like, oh, I know. Here it comes. I've been through this. Here it comes. So I call Quicken Loans and I tell the guy over the phone, I say, look, Jack, here's the deal. I'm moving. My income fluctuates in general. I'm moving to another state. I have 2 loans already. My debt-to-income ratio is this. My credit score is that. What are the odds I'm going to get approved? Because the guy before with a different company said they're going to need to see proof of income to be able to therefore qualify me. He goes, oh, don't worry about it. We're the #1 online lender in all of America and blah, blah, blah. You're going to be fine. We deal with this all the time. All you need is something from your employer stating that you're going to make this, like an income graph or like an income proof of income. This is what you really have the potential to make and everything else, and it's going to happen and all that other stuff. I said, are you sure? Because I want to make sure that I'm going to get this. I'm not going to get screwed at the end. Oh, no, 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 don't worry about it, the guy says. Okay. So I'm pumped. Now, I know a guy who wanted to buy my house. I'm not going to name who it was. But I know a guy who wanted to buy my house. One of my best friends. Okay. I knew his credit score situation was horrible. I knew it. But I said to myself, my credit was okay at the time I applied for this loan through Quicken Loans. They're giving me a third mortgage. For, I think at the time, if I didn't sell my house, my ceiling was like $130,000. But if I did sell my house, my income, my ceiling was like $300,000. Not that I needed or wanted to spend that much money on a house. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Fuck it. Yeah, let's have him call Quicken Loans. He wants to buy my house. Boom, we had already set it up. Quicken Loans approves of my friend. Everything's good. So I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This is awesome. Things are going great. Now, I'm doing this all in Florida at the time. This is mid-February. And by the way, because I was in Florida for 2 weeks, by the way, remember I told you, remember February 5th? Well, February 5th, which was a Monday, the day after the Super Bowl, happened to be my first official day working for the new company, 11 years later. I started February 5th, 2007. I started my new job February 5th, 2018. How crazy is that? Exactly the day. So I'm down there, I'm getting all this stuff set so that when I come back from Florida, I can go to Gallenberg for a few days, meet my new boss, which I had already met, and blah blah blah, and go and search for houses and stuff. I had a 3-day plan. I was going to go search for homes, find what I like, try to put an offer in because I already got approved. I thought, right? So all that's great, all that's awesome. There was a house in Sevierville, Tennessee, that I really wanted, but there was already 6 people ahead of me and was already under contract, so I was fucked there. But they had a feeling, my realtor had a feeling that it wasn't going to go through. He just had this feeling, but he couldn't do anything about it because I had to give the people the full 2 weeks that they had agreed upon or whatever. And I didn't have 2 weeks to fool around. So I go back to Massachusetts. So anyway, before I go back to Massachusetts, the house I'm in now, I found, it happened to be the last night I was there, I happened to be searching in the hotel room, searching listings in Tennessee and everything else, and I found this, and it was in Gallenberg. It was literally 8 minutes from work, and I said, oh boy. And I took one look at the garage in the photos, and I said, this is the house. This will house the game room perfectly. I already knew what was going to happen. I said, this is fucking amazing. So I come in that night. My realtor, literally, his parents or family owns all of Gallenberg. Awesome guy. He got me in really that night. And loved it. Said, this is the one I'm going to add. Whatever they're offering, I'll just take. They got to do a couple things, but other than that, we're good. Put the offer in, immediately got accepted the following morning, done. So I'm down in Massachusetts now, back in Pittsfield, and my buddy comes over. He signs the agreements. We scan them over or fax them. He faxes them over to Quicken Loans. Everything's up and running now. I immediately call the title company so he can do a title search. We get the inspection done. I had done an inspection actually because a guy who wanted to buy the house lowballed me an offer. The first guy, and I couldn't accept it based on what I knew I needed to be able to sell the house for, to be able to get the loan down here in Tennessee. So I said, look, it can't happen. I got to do this, I got to do that. So I didn't end up going with him. I went with my buddy, right? So all of a sudden, I don't hear anything from Quicken Loans for a long time. My buddy calls up and was like, I don't think I'm going to get the house now. And I said, what do you mean you're not going to get the house now? What the fuck are you talking about? Meanwhile, I moved everything, right? All my stuffs are in pods in, I think, Albany, New York, or wherever the hell they were, being held there until I end up moving to Tennessee, close on a house, and I could have them delivered. So I'm paying about $1,200 a month for the storage, okay? I'm still paying the mortgage on my house in Pittsfield, the home equity loan. I still have all my normal monthly bills. I don't have an income, right? And now I'm in a hotel room. I'm in a fucking hotel room with Luna, okay? This is in March. At the Ramada Inn in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I think it was the Ramada Inn, one of them. South, I think, Ramada Inn South, whatever it was. And I'm sitting there trying to eat Little Caesars pizza, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So it wasn't Little Caesars, it was Cece's Pizza, I remember, because I knew if you eat Cece's Pizza hot, it's good. If you eat it cold, you want to throw up. A lot of people are going to be like, hey, why don't you throw up anyway? It's Cece's Pizza, oh my God, it's so gross. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and literally my heart's pounding now. I'm freaking out. What am I going to do? Why wasn't he going to get the loan? What the fuck? I thought everything was fine. Yeah, well, they caught something on my tax return, blah, 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 blah. When I told him I made this amount of money, apparently what happened was my buddy didn't realize that he didn't really make what he thought he made because of the, what do you call it? When you write stuff off. Whatever the fuck that one, can't think of it now, but whatever that fucking word's called. Deductions, right? So the deductions, when he deducted everything he did, he really ended up making this amount of money. So he wasn't going to get approved. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck? What are we going to do? So I figured it out with him. I sat there and I quickly did some math and I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do A, B, C, D, and E, present it to him, and everything should be fine. And it was. Then I get a call. Hey, yeah, you got to prove the buddy. You know, hey, man, your credit's a little rough. You got to make sure this is is paid down. I said, it is paid down. I sent you everything. What the hell are we doing right now? Now, meanwhile, as these delays keep popping up, I'm getting freaking calls from my realtor freaking out that their realtor's freaking out because we should have closed already. Now the date keeps getting pushed back for a timeline where it wasn't like, okay, we were going to close on this date and now we got to push that back. No, it was, look, everything should be done in literally a week and a half as far as paperwork goes. We're just going to wait on the banks at this point. And we should be able to close here even though we have this date. Now it's looking closer like we're going to hit that date anyway, right? So, oh, well, we must have lost it. So as long as we can find, I said, I'll send it again. So I fucking sent it again. Okay, everything's fine. I said to the guy, are you sure everything's fine now? We're fine. Nothing else is going to pop up. Oh, no, shouldn't happen. I said, I don't want to hear shouldn't happen. It's either yes or no. This isn't a maybe sort of a question. It's either it is or it isn't. Am I getting the loan based on everything or am I not getting the loan based on everything? No, you're going to be fine. You're going to get it. You're going to be fine. Okay, fine. Now my buddy calls me literally 2 days later. Hey, man, they're not giving me the loan again. I flip out. I call his loan guy, who I knew because we were on a three-way when we were talking about buying my house. I said, what's going on now? He goes, for privacy issues, I can't go into it, but he did something we told him he shouldn't have done, and he screwed up. It's going to be fixed, but it's going to delay things now. So I immediately call my buddy. What did you fuck up? I didn't fuck up anything, he says. What did you fuck up? Well, they told me this was going to happen, and I tried to do this, and I shouldn't have. Why'd you fucking do it? Well, I thought I could do it, but blah, 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 whatever fucking retarded answer he gave me. Okay, fine. So everything's fine now. It's just going to take a little bit longer, blah, 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 blah. So my buddy had fucked up twice. They call me back, my guy. Hey, have you sent in this form of income? I said, what do you mean have I sent in this form of income? Well, yeah, you got to show that you make X amount of dollars, remember? I said, oh no. I said, I asked you point blank when I first called you, mid-February in Orlando, when I was there, I said, look, the bank told me, the first people I went through said I have to show this based on this. You told me you're the #1 lender in America. You told me that I didn't have to worry about that. All I had to do was send in a piece of paper that stated I was going to make X amount of dollars, signed by my boss on company letterhead. You said that was fine, I said to the guy. Well, I mean, you know, things change, and no, don't tell me things change. I let them have it. Because here's the thing, folks. I made decisions based on statements that were definitively made by my loan guy from Quicken Loans, who stated that if I do this, this is going to happen. No, don't worry about this because this is what's going to happen, therefore you can do this. Don't do that because if you do that, that's going to happen. So I had my I's dotted and my T's crossed, and I said, what the fuck? I now am stranded in a hotel where I have no place to go. My buddy can't buy my house now. I don't have a house. I already threw 10 grand down as a down payment on the house that I'm now in now, but that a house that I put an offer in. I'm going to lose that fucking money. Well, we can't, you know, guarantee. I said, you didn't get, I said, you fucking guaranteed me. I asked you point blank, and it's on the recordings. I think his name was David from Quicken Loans, David Thomas. I said, I asked you this, and you stated this. Silence on the phone. Well, there's nothing I can do about it now, so you're going to have to prove that. So then I did some thinking. Okay. We get paid every 2 weeks, but the way the commissions work, it's literally every 3 weeks. So I had to show that I made X amount of dollars. And I went to my boss, I said, look, I got to show this. We got to figure this out. So he was able to hook me up in the beginning so I could quickly prove that I made the money that I was going to make. Because it was a slow season in Gatlinburg in the winter. It's slow. It's not a lot of tourism. So we were on track for that. Now everything's fine. Then my buddy calls me. Literally a week before we're supposed to close on this house here. We were already supposed to close on my house. My buddy calls me and he says, I'm not going to get the loan again. I said, what did you do this time? I didn't do anything wrong, he goes. So I call his loan guy. Yeah, we actually looked through his tax returns and blah, blah, blah happened and this happened and that happened. So unfortunately, with everything going on right now, he needs to pay off $1,500 in debt. because his debt to income is now this. I said, didn't you check his debt to income when you pre-approved him? Didn't you have all that information when you pre-approved him literally a month ago? Yeah, well, different underwriters look at I said, I don't care about different underwriters. I asked you point blank, is this going to happen based on all the stuff that we got going on? And sure enough, got the same kind of answer. Well, things change, and I slammed the phone down. Almost broke my cell phone doing it. And I said, okay, I got to think of plan B here. What am I going to fucking do? Now, at this time, the manager of the Ramada Inn comes over to me and says, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean, what are you doing? He goes, where do you work? I told him where I worked. He goes, what are you doing down here in Tennessee if you're from Massachusetts? I said, I just moved here. He goes, well, this isn't a house, buddy. I said, what do you mean it's not a house? He goes, just what I said, it's not a house. I said, I know it's not a house. I'm closing on a house, and this date, gave him the date that it was supposed to happen. Well, okay, I mean, I just want to make sure that, you don't think this is a hotel that you could just live here forever. I said, am I bothering anybody being here? I said, are there people complaining about me? And the guy goes, no, you've been fine. We appreciate you coming here. Then why are you having this conversation with me? He couldn't give me an answer. I looked at him, I said, I need an answer, bud. What have I done to allow you to basically insinuate that I need to leave? Well, you've done nothing. Don't worry about it. It's just, I have some problems with drug dealers in the area, and I had to bust some people yesterday night, and the police were here. Didn't you see everything? I said, no, I was asleep. Oh, well, yeah, we just can't have that happen here. I said, so you think I'm a drug dealer? Well, no, I didn't say that. The guy says, oh, I didn't say. So I'm like, look, so now I'm freaking out because the guy's fucking acting funny with me, and I got poor Luna. Speaking of Luna, well, I was supposed to get her spayed literally 2 weeks before I ended up leaving for Gatlinburg in Massachusetts. And I knew there was like a 2-week recovery time. So I said, there's no way I can do this spay while try to pack, while deal with her medical situation. So I canceled it. Knew that when I got down to Gatlinburg, based on everything having to work out the way I thought it would work out by getting it ahead of the game a month prior, getting all the papers signed a month prior for me leaving to go down to Gatlinburg. I started like March 4th or 5th down in Gatlinburg. At my job that I'm at now, I said, I can't have her do this. It's going to be rough. I can't do it. So meanwhile, I have to get her spayed. Now, on the ride down to Gatlinburg, she did a pretty good job. She didn't bark once, cry, whine, or anything, but she also didn't go to the bathroom. I stopped with her probably 7 fucking times along the way. And for those of you who have never driven through Virginia, you want to kill yourself. It is literally I thought Ohio was bad. Going to Illinois, I thought Ohio was fucking bad. Virginia, you literally want to kill yourself. There's literally, no exaggeration, I think there's like 3,000 exits. It literally starts exit 3,000 and goes down. Now, I could be off a number here or there, but I think it's pretty much that. So, I go down. We're in Gatlinburg. We're in Pigeon Forge at the hotel. She's spayed, still isn't going to the bathroom, isn't eating right, having diarrhea left and right, then contracts worms. Now, the Ramada Inn, which was really cool about this place, they allowed pets. Unfortunately, she fucking stepped in probably some other dog shit, and she got worms. So not only is she dealing with the after effects of her being spayed, but she's dealing with worms now. Meanwhile, I'm about to be homeless. I literally spent $3,000 to stay at this hotel for 3 weeks. $3,000 on top of the $1,200 a month, on top of all the bills, on top of the mortgage back home, on top of not really having any income. I'm literally freaking out because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be homeless, I'm thinking. I'm going to be homeless. This was the worst move of my life. So I call my guy. This is what Jason's telling me from Quicken Loans, from my buddy, blah blah blah. And he goes, oh yeah, I can't really get into it, but this, that, and the other thing. So I called my buddy back and I say, hey man, what the fuck? What's going on? They're telling me I need to pay off this $1,500 and I don't have it right now. All right. If I give you the $1,500, are you fine? Are you straight? Yeah, I'm straight. Yeah, I'm straight. I'll just pay you back when I can. Fine, good. I'll pay the $1,500, give him the money, done. So we were about to do that. I was about to do that transaction until I called his guy back and I said, look, are you positive that if I give you that if he gives you that $1,500, he is guaranteed now at this point, guaranteed to get the loan? No other issues are going to come up. No, should be good. I said, I don't want to hear should be good. I don't want to hear should be good anymore. We've been through shoulds and possiblies, and everything's fine, and don't worry about it, and you're going to be fine, and he's going to be fine, and everything looks awesome on our end, and blah, blah, blah. I've been through that a fucking 1,000 times. Is he or is he not going to get the loan? Sure enough, you know what the guy says? Yeah, he's going to get the loan. He'll be fine. Okay. 3 days before it's supposed to close, he gets a call. Yeah, I'm not getting the loan. It's official. What happened to the money I gave you? Or I was going to give you? They called back, and I actually called them. I said, if I give you this money, am I fine? And then they found out that I really needed to pay off $20,000 of debt. And then even if I did that, I'm not going to get the full amount of the loan we agreed on. I can't buy your house. So now I'm fucked. Because I had an offer on the table that was way under what I could have accepted. But I had an offer. And I got the amount of offer from my buddy that I needed to be able to buy the house down here. So I literally almost broke the TV in the hotel room. I was that fucking angry. And I call my guy back. The guy doesn't answer, but he transfers me over to the underwriting part of the deal. And I said to the guy, look, I've been through this with my buddy. My buddy was approved, pre-approved, based on everything he sent in. Then he was told he was going to get the loan, he just had to fix this on his credit report. Then he was told he was going to get the loan, he just had to do that. Then he was told he was going to get the loan, but he just had to pay off $1,500 in debt. And then he was told he wasn't going to get the loan, he had to pay off $20,000 in debt, and the amount that he got a pre-approved for was never real. So I said, this is what I've had to do. This is my situation. You've looked at everything. I've given you guys everything. I'm waiting on your final say. Am I going to get the loan or not, based on what we've discussed? Well, I can't get, this is a different person now. Well, I can't guarantee you it because this, that, and the other thing. I said, look, bud, it's real fucking easy. It's really this easy. I'm not talking about the fact that maybe the house doesn't appraise at the amount that it should have appraised, therefore the loan's invalid because then I, as the buyer, would have to pay the difference if I really wanted the house from what the bank's going to give me and what the house is worth. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the house failing inspection. I'm not talking about outside shit. I'm talking about me, Andrew Arvidon. I'm talking about me, what I can control, my part of the deal, what I can control. Based on everything I've sent you, am I going to get this loan? Well, it seems by looking at your tax returns you had a business and you wrote off this amount, so by law we have to subtract this number from that number, and then it ends up being that you really only made this number, so you know how you had to show that you only needed to make X amount of dollars a week? Well, now we have to triple that. You have to show that you make triple what we originally told you. You can imagine what I was feeling at this point. I'm literally a week away from closing on my house here in Gatlinburg. I have no money. I have no loan. I don't have a buyer for my house. I'm fucked. I said, it's real easy. If I can show you that I now make triple, am I getting the loan based on what I personally have to do? I'm not talking about other outside influences. I'm talking about me. There was silence on the phone. Well, I hung up the phone. I immediately told my boss. Now, meanwhile, my boss had heard some of these conversations. He could have, in a trial in a court of law, he could have been a fucking witness and stated, yeah, I heard this. This is XYZ was said. XYZ was said, not to mention it was all on recording. So all we had to do, if I had hired a lawyer and whatever, could have subpoenaed the fucking tapes. But that's besides the point. My boss had found everything. So he said, you know what? All right, my ex-son-in-law is a banker. He does mortgages. I'll see what I can do with him. So, literally, I apply for a loan through them, get approved. Not this Quicken Loans horseshit approved. Got approved. Not what I was looking for. It was an adjustable rate, which I didn't really care about. It's like a 6-year adjustable rate at like almost nothing. And then it can go up a max of 1% or whatever per year, up to X amount percent forever for the life of the loan. The goal is in a couple of years, I'm just going to refinance this into a fixed rate anyway, but that's not the point. I wanted to do an FHA loan where I only had to put down like fucking nothing, right? But in this case, I didn't get approved for an FHA loan. I got approved for a regular conventional loan where I had to put down like 20%. So this house was not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. So what did I have to do? Well, I still had to sell my house. If I didn't sell my house, I was fucked. So the buddy, my first guy, who's not as much of a buddy as the second guy was, but still friendly, I've been known him for years, I said to him, hey, look. He goes, what's going on with the house? I said, I'm going to have to rent it because this fell through. He goes, well, how much do you need again? I said, this is what I need. This is literally what I need. I showed him from the Quicken Loans website what I needed to be able to get the loan approved. He was in. He just didn't want, his girlfriend at the time, or his soon-to-be wife, was not in. She didn't like the house, but he did. He'd been there a million times. It's literally across the street from where he was living. Literally, it's 2 streets down. And it's in the direct central area, and he knew what he was going to do with the house. He's a handyman and all that sort of deal. He knows how to do, like, you know, plywood and walls and painting and all that garbage, so he knew what he was going to do regardless. And I gave him, the house got appraised at literally X amount, and he got it for like 20 grand less, so he was loving life. So he came through. House was going to sell. The problem was the house was going to sell 2 weeks after I was supposed to close on this one. So, folks, what was I to do? I didn't have 50 grand lying in the bank, la-di-da city. Didn't have it. Didn't have it. Wasn't going to happen. But you know what I did have? I had a 401k. I had a 401k that was left over from Holiday Club vacation. So you know what I did? Took the money, transferred it from T. Rowe Price, by the way. Thanks. Kudos to T. Rowe Price. Good looks. Transferred it to an IRA or one of those deals. Took the cash out and was able to pay the cash back within 60 days so I don't get tax issues with it. Was able to close on this house, and the rest is, as they say, history. Now, Luna's health, she got over the being spayed part. We're still in a hotel, by the way, at this point. To the point where, no, I actually told my boss what was going to happen with me in the hotel and the situation there, so he was able to put me on property, which he wasn't supposed to do, but he was able to hook me up. He put me on property, and I was able to stay there for a week with the dog and everything else. Luna got over her spade business. She was fine. Recently had a little bit of a health scare. She had an inflamed liver, and a white blood cell count was a little high, not much. But she had diarrhea, and it was real bad. So I put her on, they put her on a bland diet of boiled chicken and rice. So that's what I've been feeding her. And she's on medication, and it's making her not really go to the bathroom that much. But when it does come out, it's a little bit more solid than it was. I got to bring her back to the vet, though, to have them checked, because it's still not right with her. Aside from her behavior, it's great. She's running around, playing fetch, you know, being a doggy, you know, being a puppy doggy. But other than that, her bowel movements aren't good. But anyway, so I was able to do that. Got the house sold in Massachusetts. I've been here. And here we go. But I can tell you guys this. What a fucked up 3 weeks of my life. Where literally I was this close to being homeless. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. Think about this. $1,200 a month just to hold my stuff. On top of the $800 a month mortgage I had, including property taxes, by the way, and insurance. The actual mortgage itself was like $200 for the home equity loan, but $600, thanks for living in the Northeast, $600 in fucking taxes and insurance, okay? $4,200 a year in taxes, insurance was up there, okay? So that was $800 a month there. On top of the hotel that I was staying at, and at that point, then I was still paying to stay on the property of the company. Still had to pay, we got a discount, but still had to pay for that. That was like $600 a week. Okay, so we're talking $2,400 a month just to live there in a 1-bedroom with a doggy, okay, and all my shit and my car. But my Lincoln that you guys have seen couldn't even fucking fit in the Lincoln, okay? All the stuff was in the Lincoln. All the stuff that I carried that I didn't have room in the pods for came with me. So literally that was my life, and I was worried to death. That I didn't know what I was going to do, and I had poor Luna with me, and it wasn't her fault. She's a good girl, you know. She's just a curious puppy, you know. So anyway, that's the drill. That's the story. And what I'm going to do next, folks, is, hey, I'm going to show you guys the house. I'm going to show you the house. Now remember, this is the before part of the house. Got a whole bunch of stuff coming in. I got an interior decorator coming in. They're going to make this house a home. And so when that is finished, we're going to see the after part of the house. But let's go right into the before part of the house. All right, everybody, here's the house tour. This will be the before tour, and then we'll get to the after tour. You're staring at my front door. See? See the front door? There's a certain doggy in the video. Look at her. Her name's Luna the doggy. Right, Luna? You excited to be on the show? You got your ball and everything, so stay there. All right, folks, so as you walk in, this is the living room. And right over here, we got one of the chairs my grandmother had when she was alive, gave to me when she died. Not when she died, obviously, that'd be pretty impossible, but she gave it to me, left it for me, my dad gave it to me, etc. Luna wants to be part of the action. Then right over here, we got a miscellaneous table. So you got the camcorders there, I still haven't set those up. Labyrinth, some stuff if you remember the old house. Hey, Luna, come here. Luna, come on. If you remember the old house, it was under the fireplace there. Got some random crap, as you see. Some other random stuff. And right up here we have the Fat City cigar that used to hang in the, as you came up the stairs to my house. So that's there. Then we have the Silverleaf company I used to work for, Silverleaf Resorts. All my awards up here. These are going to be moved actually, and I'll show you where they're going to be moved to very soon. Hold on one second. I think my dog is about to take a shit. All right, we're back, folks. So that's going to be moved. She didn't go to the bathroom, by the way. She fooled me. Anyway, this is going to be moved. I have an entertainment center coming, so you'll be seeing that in the after part of this. DVD collections in here, some plaques I won from Silverleaf. Got a nutcracker. You know the drill. This leads into my room. But before we go into my room, this is where the dining room table is. Some video games. As you see, I haven't really had time to put them away. Those are from the video game, what do you call it? So, couch. This is the coffee table, by the way. Coffee table that that is a refrigerator inside and everything else from a video I posted a long while ago. It still works. Some more video games again that we just did. That's going to be put away soon. So as we go over here, this here is the poker table, which will be going in the game room at some point. This leads to the backyard. We'll show you that in a moment. Right over here is the kitchen. Okay. So you got the kitchen over here, complete with garbage bag on the floor. As we go down this hallway, right over here is the second bathroom. It's my roommate lives with me, Mike. It's where he goes, he uses his bathroom. This is his room over here. We won't go in there. Then over here, we have the library / sports room. So, right up here, Decade of Dominance. I really hope Luna, this is carpet in here. I hope she doesn't screw everything up here by going to the restroom. It would suck. Luna, out, come on, out. All right, good. So, then you got, you know, the whole sports wall, as we would say. Down here, this is stuff I won for the company, Holiday Inn Club Vacations I used to work for. Luna, come on, out. This is my trip to Aruba that you saw me and Pat McLovin. All the stuff I won in Aruba. Right over here is a library portion. Okay, this you may recall from the game room tour in my old house. This has all, Luna out, come on, out. This has all the books and that I have in my collection as well as DVDs. So for example, if we go right to The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown, well, or Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, you have the game and DVD as well. So the games and DVDs are movies that go with every book. The book came out first, then I collect the DVDs and games for it. If the stuff came out, then books, very rarely do I do that. Usually the books come out way before everything. So, right up here, some more Harry Potter stuff I got at Universal, and Goosebumps, etc. So, I'll do, when I do my game room tour, I'll show you guys this room more in depth. Over here we got more sports stuff. Okay, zoom out a little bit. This Patriots thing I got in Mexico when I won another trip through Holiday Inn Club Vacations. And right down here, this is all the stuff I won in Mexico. All along the baseboard there. Some hats, some more stuff, some more stuff. These are all the DVDs and magazines about every time the Celtics or Bruins or Patriots or Red Sox won a World Championship. Everything goes along with it. Some more stuff, some awards I won in middle school and in high school are up there, and then this shelf is empty. So this is that room, the sports slash trying to think of the goddamn word here. The sports slash library room. Okay, so now we're back in the living room. You don't smell any shit, so she didn't go, thank the Lord. Let's go into my room. I'll show you guys my room, okay? We go in here. Got the bed over here, got the computer desk, some stuff on the wall, a poster that Jamie got me for movies I haven't had a chance to watch yet. This is where she sleeps right now because every time I put her on the bed, she starts eating the blankets. So hopefully she grows out of that. She's almost a year, over a year a little bit, a year and a month. Bureau, exercise machine, City of Mercy, Scott Stapp, he played in Myrtle Beach, lead singer of Creed, at House of Blues there Wednesday, May 31st of last year. So I have that poster from that. And then right over here we got two walk-in closets. So I'll show you the first walk-in closet to my right. Okay, this is where my work stuff is, work clothes that hang up. Some other stuff like nice coats, leather jacket, some more work stuff. Miscellaneous, these are all the awards I won at Holiday Inn Club Vacations. As you see, I threw them in a closet. And then right over here, some miscellaneous stuff. These are like school reports from high school, middle school, all my grades. And in the bin, if you can see, all smushed, these are the papers for every time the major Boston sports team won a world championship. I have the actual paper from that. They're all screwed up and nasty now, but what are you going to do? Then over here in this walk-in closet, Luna, what are you doing? Come on. This walk-in closet over here, we got some everyday wear. Okay, some hoodies and shit like that, magazines. These are all magazines from Entertainment Weekly that I've collected over the years. I got my lugs right there. Luna, come on. And some more of that. Old computers, they still work, but they're, as they would say, technology is way advanced. So these things still work. I hoard everything, so I keep them in here. All right, now we're going to go into the bathroom, the walk-in bathroom that I have. Obviously, it's a walk-in bathroom, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. So we come right in here. All right, toilet, pretty easy. Got the one of the mirrors here, okay, for one of the sinks. This is the his sink. And then here's the jet tub. And then her sink right over here. And then the shower. It's a pretty cool deal. Right, Luna? Pretty cool situation. So that is it. That's pretty much the house. We're going to go outside. Luna's on my bed. Come on, off the bed. Let's go. Let's go outside. And we'll play ball with Luna for a little bit. But that's pretty... Oh, wait. I'm not done yet. I'm not done. What am I talking about? Luna, where'd you get this sock from? Super. I don't know where you stole that from. Sneaky, sneaky doggy. All right. So right down here, this is the entrance to the game room. Okay? Now right over here, you got some miscellaneous, what do you call it? Luggage from when I moved to Illinois 6 years ago. So I have all that stuff. I had to carry literally my whole life and all these luggage along with others as well. Come on, Luna, go get the ball. Go get the ball. Come on. So anyway, where those things are hanging, they are going to be right here against this wall, okay? And then right here, that where the TV's sitting on, that's going to be moved to another room. Oh yeah, I didn't forget to show you the other bedroom. Let's quickly go back there. Man, this has been a horrible house review. How did I forget that? I got a million things going on in my head. Namely, hopefully, Luna... Some money on the floor here. What the hell's going on? All right, so this is where all the storage is right now. Stuff that I can't... this is how I moved in Tupperware containers. Okay, all this stuff is empty. There's more in the closets. And then this is some of Mike's stuff, as you see. Luna, come on, let's get out of this room. Come on. Let's go, grab your ball. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. All right. That's a spare room that I have as of now. And as we go, we're going to go down here. You're going to see where the washer dryer is. And then we'll head out to the backyard. But, we're going to go down here. Now here it says the man cave, right? So again, right here, this wall, this is where all those posters and stuff is going to hang. And then where the DVDs are, right? I'm not going to need that when the entertainment system comes in, the entertainment stand. Not stand, but you know what I mean. So all those DVDs are going to go in there. This is going to actually go right where the suitcases are. And then all the plaques and stuff will still stay on there, but they'll be right in this area. So as you walk down here, you'll be able to see everything nice and neat and not have to look at it over the TV. So down here, I'm not going to show you this yet. This is the surprise. This is where the game room is. But right here, you got the washer, dryer, water heater right in here. And then another storage bin, another luggage case. And then again, right here, this is where all the magic happens. For those of you who subscribe and friended the Andy VHB Facebook page, you'll see what I have so far, a quick panoramic view. For those of you who are too lazy or don't care, you won't see it. You'll have to wait until the video comes up. All right, Luna wants to go outside, so that's where we're going to head, because she wants to play ball. So let's go and play ball. Right, Luna? All right, so right back here, it's the AC system for the house, but right over here you got the new AC system that was installed just for the garage where the video game room is. There you go. And then this is, the humidity is literally fogged up the camera to the point where, like the lens, wow. Look at the humidity. Come out here and it's fogged to fuck. Okay, so anyway, it's a whole backyard. There's Luna with her ball. And it just goes and goes and goes. Got a huge, huge, huge backyard. And it goes all the way over to here. And then all the way to the left and down more. So I'm not going to go all the way down there. But Luna, come on. Where's your ball? Come on, girl. Let's see the ball. Come on. Come on. Let me see the ball. Drop the ball. There he goes. Okay. Do the best I can with this. Watch her go get it here. Hopefully you guys can see her, because it's out of focus as fuck on my end. There she goes. Loves playing fetch. Loves running around like a doggy. See her? See the doggy? But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more stuff, man. This year's going to be a cool year for the channel. And remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends. The more people watch, the more people subscribe, the more chances everyone has to win stuff. Like video games, or gift cards, or what have you. So, Luna, get out of there. So, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.